Welcome in to the week 8. We are in week 8. How about that of the NFL season, the start sit show here at IDP Plus. My name is Michael Sicoli. You can follow me at Michael underscore Scully. Yeah, Ricky Rodrigue in the top left here. You can follow him at Ricky Rod 66, and I think Sean Teague in this top right, he's going faceless today, clearly, because he's being held hostage with his Twitter handle of at Sean8386 in the top right. How's it going, everybody? How's it going to you two? How's it going to our wonderful listeners out here? Let us know in the chat. How you guys doing today, Ricky?
I'm doing pretty darn good, except for the fact that I got to bed at 3 a.m. because I drove out to the LSU A&M game and it did not have a happy ending. However, I'm hoping our listeners that paid attention last week and heard Ricky Nostradamus say, anytime touchdown bet, Tucker Craft, go do it.
I was thinking of you.
If you've made some money on that, put it in the comments. We want to know.
And Sean, your beautiful face today looking as great as ever. How's it going?
I have been held hostage by some terrible fantasy teams I've put together, and I'm hoping today is the big turnaround. Now that the Dolphins should be back in full force with Tua, Waddle, and Mr. Hill.
The Dolphins are going to walk the Cardinals today. I'll let you know, and I'll ease your concerns in that regard. Well, either way, thank you guys for joining me today, and I want to thank. Whoa, that's going to happen.
We'll have to change our rating.
Flipper. Yeah, with the with the Dolphin flipper right there. But good to see Fancy Breakout in the chat. Axton, how you doing today? Lovely to see you. Love this guy. We struck a big trade last week as well. You know, I got Aiden O'Connell off my team for a fourth. It was massive. Massive. But
when I heard him talking about his potential broken thumb on the thing, I was like, wow, he did that trade live during the show because Ashton was put pressure on him, and he got a free fourth rounder basically.
And I traded for
awesome.
I traded for Jalen McMillan. Like I'm not victory lapping injuries because it sucks what's happening in Tampa Bay, but I happened to trade for Jalen McMillan the day before, so I won't make any more dynasty trades because I'm the Reaper right now. I don't enjoy it, but that seems to be my title. But as I was saying, good to see Fantasy Breakout. Good to see Kyle Singer in the chat here. Keep on sending these. Good to see Gary Van Dyke. Keep on sending these questions into the chat. Starts it. Whatever we can do to help with your fantasy lineups. We're here until 12 Eastern for the next 55 minutes, give or take. But, you know, we're here to answer every question because we're here to help. So we'll keep on going until you guys are settled. How about we jump right into a question by Fantasy Breakout? As always, the smartest guy around jumping in before the show to get the questions in. He's back with some more IDP questions. The weekly debacle of the Houston defensive line. Can we trust Will Anderson, or do we go with Greg Rousseau, Carl Granderson, Jalen Carter? Since he doesn't say pick a certain amount, I say we just rank these in the order we would start them. So, Ricky, do you have any immediate thoughts with this group of four?
No.
Good answer. Good answer.
Good answer.
Let's see here. Okay.
Says
sure
start
Sean
sit
going,
on the top right.
yeah,
there.
this is okay. This one's interesting. Sean, I got to be honest with you. I'm still debating. You got any to start with that jumps to the top of your head, man?
Anderson has been on a bit of a roll here, and I don't trust Indianapolis to get it together this week. So I am leaning him as my top guy for sure.
I think I'm leaning, to be honest with you. I was having a little fun here earlier on, but I'm leaning in this order right now, potentially flipping Carter and Granderson. But right now, I think the order he has them typed in is the order I'm leaning right now.
I would go Granderson over Rousseau, but that's it.
I think I would too.
I think at this point, you know, I have to factor in some level of floor, and Granderson has always been a good guy to provide me some level of floor with some upside for more. And yeah. Rousseau is the exact opposite of that. So I guess if you're looking at your Thursday night matchup and that impacted the way you're playing, maybe you want to shoot for the stars with Rousseau over someone like Granderson or Carter even. But I mean, Granderson has that nice blend of both. But I agree. I'll go Will Anderson first if we're talking just one. So that's where I would lean there. And it's a good one to start us off with, Fantasy Breakout. I always appreciate getting good questions to start the show earlier. Axton also mentioning I should tell him about our trade for AVG earlier this year. We shouldn't do that. I don't think that's important. I don't think that's.
Ooh.
I believe I picked him up for nothing. I picked him up for nothing on our Dynasty waiver wire, and I felt so good about it because the whole Flores connection. And then he offered me something. I was like, you know what? What's really the ceiling? Ah, well,
Clearly,
yeah,
Pretty high
well,
ceiling.
well done, Axton. Yeah, that's cool. I got a fourth for Aiden O'Connell, and then you buried me with one of the best IDP breakouts of this year. Fancy breakout asking a linebacker question here, going straight back to EJ Speed after Houston after he missed last week, or does he play Eric Kendricks, Jeremiah Owusu Koramoa, or someone help me out quickly
Quay
with Walker?
Walker.
Because Quay Walker.
Quay Walker's
Jesus.
out, is he not?
Yeah, I have not heard Quay Walker's name in quite a while because of the injuries.
I think actually he's supposed to be playing.
Is he?
He's questionable. I'm double checking right now.
That was a concussion?
Oh wait, yeah, he said as of yesterday morning he hadn't cleared the Elite's concussion protocol, so we do need to wait probably a little bit longer on him to see the inactives. He probably wouldn't be first on my list on this one anyway, for sure.
No. It's Speed.
I would go straight back to Speed. That's a quote right there. I'd go back to EJ Speed. Yeah,
Michael,
so
that's not good for your health, man.
Yeah, no. I got coffee anyway, boys. Don't you worry about me. But I'll go EJ. I'll go EJ Speed, JOK, Quay Walker if he plays, and then Eric Kendricks. DeMarvin Overshown's got 100% role. I don't think Kendricks is going anywhere, but he's not exciting to me to begin with. So he's last for me on this list because he's just lost a step. He really has.
Well, but he's been pretty darn productive, and I do expect him back this week. And San Francisco's probably going to run the ball a heck of a lot with Jordan Mason, which should create a whole lot of opportunities for him. So I actually like Speed, Kendricks, JOK, and Walker would be my order, actually.
You don't think that they're going to use a little bit more of an aggressive approach with Overshown? Because, I mean, we saw the transition of... It started off where it was Kendricks, all Kendricks, and then Overshown gradually working his way into 100% snaps. Do you think that's still going to be the case where Kendricks is going to have a good enough fantasy role?
Kendricks was, except for like at the end of blowout games, Kendricks was playing almost all the snaps, and he was playing the Mike position. I expect him back in the Mike. In fact, before the bye, Damone Clark actually played the Mike, and Overshown still played the Will position. I did the research on it to double check, and Damone Clark wore the green dot as well. So I still have Kendricks over Overshown, and I bet if assuming the game's close, which I'm not sure if it will be, Hendricks will be close to 100%. Kendricks will be close to 100% of the snaps. I think Overshown will be close to about 90-ish.
Those are the details I like to hear, Ricky. What do you think, Sean?
I don't know, man.
I'm still sticking with Speed for the record.
We're all going with Speed. Yeah.
Speed's my top guy too. JOK, I mean, it looks good on paper with as much as Baltimore runs, but they've actually not been very good matchups for the linebackers. They're not doling out a lot of points. Quay Walker's been a mess, so I would assume Kendricks would probably be the second best guy on here. Walker last. But yeah, I'm still skeptical of Kendricks too, with Overshown coming in, flying around, making tackles everywhere. I think he's definitely going to be the guy going forward.
Mike Zimmer is keeping Eric Kendricks around purely for nostalgia sakes.
Yeah, I don't trust him for health reasons or for production later on.
Yeah, I tell you, for those, whether it be redraft or dynasty or whatever right now, after seeing Damone Clark, now, was the Cowboys defense great? No, but Damone Clark racked up some stats. So Kendricks is older. He's going to get hurt at some point. I'm looking to stash Damone Clark as a side note.
Yeah, it's a good point, especially if he takes over that Mike role, because that's the one we really, really want. Overshown is really making the most of, in theory, less than efficient role, but he's being quite efficient with it. Let's go to Kyle Singer here in the chat, picking 2 of a full PPR. wide receiver 2 and flex we're picking here. So it's got to be one wide receiver and then the best player available. So we got Nick Chubb, Romeo Dubs, Khalil Shakir, and Jalen McMillan suddenly finding himself as the, in theory, Bucks wide receiver 1. Dubs has a terrific match. These are all good options, I would say. I think McMillan honestly has the scariest floor of all these guys. I'm quite high on
Yeah.
Shakir, but Ricky has an opinion, and he wants to give it.
This is my McMillan thing. Low floor potential, but he could become their number one wide receiver. So he is to me the highest risk reward. So if you think you need a serious boom for some reason, something happened maybe on Thursday night, or just, I hate to rely on projected points, but if you look at the two lineups and it's like, holy crap, I'm in trouble this week, I'd probably give McMillan a whirl. Otherwise, I'm riding with Romeo Doubs as my wide receiver 2 on this one.
And then would you go Chubb in the flex?
Rub-a-dub Chubb. Oh boy. Jeez.
We got to remember this is not the Deshaun Watson Cleveland Browns. If that changes anything at all, we have a very interesting matchup going against Baltimore this week, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, Shakir is last on my list, so I was debating between Chubb and McMillan on that one. Boy.
Shakir still, man. I think Shakir is a solid NFL wide receiver. His yards per route run has been in the top 10 through the season so far. Obviously, Amari Cooper's there now, but I have faith in Josh Allen supporting both because Dalton Kincaid has done nothing to separate himself, in my opinion. That said, I'd probably going Dubs and Shakir.
I do like her music, but I don't like her for this game.
Oh, I love her music.
Oh, I'm sorry, the Shakira, my bad. God, you can tell I didn't have enough sleep today. So I think Baltimore will exploit Cleveland's defense, particularly with Myles Garrett just not being the same with all the injuries he has and not generating the rush and all, which is going to take Chubb out of the game, I think, as it goes on. And Jameis loves to throw it. I'm going Dubs and McMillan. Okay, Sean, your call.
What do you think, Sean? We've done a lot of talking over here.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely Dobbs is my top guy here. And I'm kind of torn between you guys because Shakir has been very productive. McMillan is a bit of an unknown. We haven't seen him in the main spotlight yet. It's a great matchup, though. That said, this game with for Shakir in the against Seattle could be a shootout as well. So I'm definitely off Chubb this week for sure. He is not the guy I'm taking. Seattle secondary is banged up as well. I think I'm going to go with Shakir for the safer floor. But if you do need that potential high scoring ceiling, it could be McMillan. But
yeah, I think the full PPR gives a little bit of a nod to Shakir here, just with that slot role wrapped up. He's not the important thing to remember. Amari Cooper is going to help this offense tremendously. All of a sudden, they're going to have exactly, and they're going to suddenly have the downfield attacks that they didn't have prior. And you got Shakir in the slot, you got Keon Coleman out wide. They've got the pieces now to be a much more productive passing offense than they've even been. And Josh Allen's been terrific this season, so. I'm excited to see what Shakir can do, and I really want to wait one more week on McMillan. I really because I think this entire offense is going to struggle, and it's not anyone's fault. I think it's just the nature of losing two terrific wide receivers in a single week span, and I don't know if they're going to be able to bounce back from that as quick as it can against a Falcons defense that I think is still is getting better by the week.
And it may take Mike Evans coming back to really unlock McMillan.
That's
for him to be the second guy instead of the first guy.
Yeah, Sterling Shepard's not drawing any coverage.
All right,
let's go over to.
You guys may have convinced me on that to flip over. I'm good with that.
Ooh, we got him.
Okay, so that means Jalen McMillan, 20 catches for 200 yards and 3 touchdowns today, because all of us pivoted off. Ward Rents Baker, good to see you in the chat. He's got two questions here, but we'll start with the quarterback one. Tua or Bo Nix? Bo Nix, the surprising rushing quarterback. But I'll speak for Sean here because I know Sean agrees with me. We're going fins up. Fins
Yeah.
up with Tua Tagovailoa. This is the week where the Miami bounces back with him back under center unless Ricky feels otherwise.
And this one I'm going with Tua as well. I
Oh, lovely.
Yeah, so we're going to make it a trifecta. We're going to make that one easy. The Cardinals' defense
Beautiful.
is pretty darn bad. I mean, the Chargers don't throw in. Herbert threw for what, almost 250 or something like that for a team that doesn't throw. I mean, it's just going to be bad. Okay.
Yeah,
Bad for the
completely
Cards.
agree. And Tyreek Hill's already told us to start him in fantasy, which we're doing it, Tyreek. I mean, we would have done it anyway with Tua back, but I appreciate the heads up as well. Another question, and this one is a fantastic one to think about if we were still in July. Cole Kmet or Sam Laporta? This is where we've gotten, although we did get a bit of a flash of Sam Laporta back in form, although Kmet has also been surprisingly productive this year.
So
Sean, do you
there's,
have any thoughts on the
oh,
duo? Oh, yeah, Ricky. Hey,
Yeah,
you always.
wait your turn. Wait your turn. I don't think the matchups are super great for either one. Laporta, maybe with Jameson Williams coming out, I'm leaning a little more towards Laporta here this week. But against Tennessee, realistically, it would only take a couple touchdowns, and then they're just going to cruise this game. I could see Komet being more valuable this week in a possible shootout. So I'm leaning Komet. I don't like it, but I'm doing it.
I am
What do
leaning
you think,
Komet
Ricky?
as well.
Wow.
Even with Jameson Williams out, where I apologize for almost rudely talking over you there earlier. But the Tennessee defense isn't that bad. But you're right. I think the game does become a blowout. Uh, Keenan Allen is back healthy. I'm not expecting big games from either one of these two wards. Sorry to tell you that, man, but it's going to be Komet by a hair probably.
I'll make it a little bit difficult and go Laporta. I do expect him to have a bigger role with James Williams not on the field, is what we saw last year. I agree that I think Detroit could very well run away with this one, and it could be a little bit of a second half sludge, and you're hoping you get your production early. But I'm going to go with Laporta. I don't. I think this is going to be a bit of a DJ Moore, Keenan Allen week. Maybe even Odunze gets the ball here. But it's a close one. I don't think you have bad process going either way on this one.
Snead is out, by the way,
Fantasy,
so that
yes.
okay. Sorry.
Oh, no, not at all. I was encouraging. Go.
Go to the next question, man. You could tell, man, I am
Okay,
just
all
lacking the
right,
sleep. I got to
all
get
right.
it rolling. Come
Hey,
on, Ricky.
okay, all right. Let's go. We do have some injury news coming through. T. Higgins, which has been promising upside. He'll be in. He won't be in. He is now officially out with his quad injury, which he suffered on Friday. There was some optimism that he would be able to make it, but doesn't look like he will. That means he will be out for this week, possibly back for next week, given how close it seemed he was to playing. But a practice injury, you always have to keep an eye out for. The Steelers added Justin Fields to the injury report, I mean, it doesn't matter at this point. Russell Wilson's making the start, and we'll see how that ages. Yeah, and I believe that'll cover that. And Jordan Schultz also tweeting that Cincinnati's got 3 games in the next 10 days, and that playing a factor in T. Higgins' absence today. So that probably does have a role in how promising it might be to have him for future games. Let's go fantasy sports here. Good to see you. Always good to see you every single week. Which safety should you start today between Kyle Hamilton and Tyler Nubin? He says Cleveland's offense will generate enough for Hamilton to have a better game than Nubin, or will it? Will Cleveland's offense do enough for Hamilton to be actually busy? And can we trust Nubin against the Steelers this week? Ricky?
I'm going with the play the stud on this one. I'm going to go with Hamilton, and particularly with Winston now at quarterback. I think there's a better opportunity for an interception and a better opportunity for a sack off the edge. Um, Man, did I just have a Kyle Hamilton interception premonition? I just may have.
Oh boy.
Um,
I'll check the odds on DraftKings while you do this. Yeah, keep going.
okay. um, Interceptions are very hard to predict, as we know. But on this one, I do think Cleveland does enough to uh, keep Hamilton very productive. I like the way they're using him more and more as the weeks have gone on. And so Hamilton's the one for me.
Hey, Ricky, I agree with
Hey,
every word you just said.
holy
Sean, you
cow.
though.
Yeah, I'm rather with him. Jameis
Oh, wow, look
Winston,
at us.
that's yeah, that's automatic interception for sure. If not three.
It's 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 interesting though because if we flash back not to the Tampa days and to the Saints days, he was pretty good at protecting the ball through those 6 weeks he had as a starter. But I don't want to wait too long because we have so many comments coming through, and I really appreciate every single one of you guys. We're going to keep on going through these questions and be sure to keep on sending them through. We're here to help, and we're hoping to do that. So we're all going to go with Hamilton on this one. I think if anything, Cleveland will be on the field more, and that gives ample opportunity right there. And I don't really know what to expect from Tyler Nubin nowadays, especially with the Steelers' passing offense being as I'm not convinced on Russell Wilson quite yet.
The Steelers offense can lay an egg this week after playing so well last week. That's the other thing too. Yep.
Or they can score 14 in the first half and then not score anything for the second and run the ball 25 times with Najee Harris.
Yep.
And Dexter Lawrence eats the monster that he is. Doug Crosby, are we starting Foy Aluakon this week? Oh
uh, this is muddied now. It was bad enough before.
man. Yeah.
We pretty much had it down to Lloyd and Miller, Ventrell Miller. But now we're probably going to get back to that weird rotation we seen before where it was the starters in for about 58-60% of the time and the backups in again. So I'm staying away from this entire situation if I can.
Well, the starters were paying a little bit more than that. They were in the 80 to 85% range and all. So, Doug, it depends on your options here. I don't know what your other options are, but if you keep your expectations managed that you're not going to get a linebacker one performance out of him, it's probably maybe mid to low linebacker two. That's, I think, where he'll play because coming back from an injury off of IR, plus with the rotation, plus with the Ventrell Miller, I think Muma does get dropped out of this. If anything, maybe a three-person rotation because Muma was already dropping with the other two. So I'd put him in, but that's where my expectations would be.
I echo all the things that you guys just said, and I'll also add that, as always, it comes down to who your other options are. Are you talking Foy and you talking a superstar, or are you talking Foy and you're wondering about whether you should stick with Tyrell Dotson in Seattle, who obviously we have a bit of a shakeup in Seattle. So that would be a more interesting question. Curiously, just real quick, would you play Foy over Dotson? I would, but
I would, particularly with the trade.
Sean?
With
I'm with you guys.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So there we go. There's some confidence. But Doug, if you got any uh, Foy or this player, feel free to let us know, and we'll try to help out with that. Harry Brooks asking. Also, good to see you in the chat here. Always love to see the new names. Asking, should he drop any of Tyrell Dodson? Oh my God,
Trevin Wallace.
Trevin Wallace. I knew it was a T. I had the T, and I want to say Teelan Wallace, but that's the receiver. Blake Cashman for Kazir White or Josie Jewell. Blake Cashman should be back next week. Does Dodson lose value by not being the Mike? Can Wallace flourish with Jewell back in the lineup? I'm not sure if Jewell's back this week. He's still
He's
very
not.
much questionable. Did they rule him out officially?
No, no, I'm sorry.
He got a
Technically,
few.
he's
Yeah,
questionable. My bad. Yes, I
because
remember that
he
now.
did pull in a late. I know he pulled in a limited practice on Friday, but I think he still missed Wednesday and Thursday. Either way, I don't know if we can trust him to be back to full form this week, but he should be back next week. Either way, we're talking about dropping. So these are guys that are going to be not on the team come waivers running. So which one of these guys would you drop, if any, for Kazir White or Josie Jewell, being Dodson, Wallace, or Cashman? Sean, do you have any thoughts?
I don't think I'm dropping Dotson, and I know everybody's worried about Ernest Jones coming in, but McDonald is trying to build, his Baltimore defense where he had both Roquan and Patrick Queen, two linebackers that can both produce, and I think that's what we're getting ready to have here. So I'm definitely not dropping Dotson. Cashman, assuming he is the top quarter or linebacker when he comes back, whoever that top guy is produces, so you don't want to drop him. Those are big points. Wallace is interesting. If I were to drop any of these guys, it would be Wallace.
And it seems like I think we're all three going to be in
Yeah.
agreement here based on the emphatic reactions that Ricky is pulling off for any of our wonderful listeners watching on the screen here.
I was shoveling him out, man. I was shoveling out Wallace. He's going to be a run thumper. He'll get 70% of the snaps when Jewel's back. Jewel should take the green dot back, play 100%. The question is Jewel or Kaiser White, and that's when I'm struggling with that one. I would probably pick up either one of those over Wallace. I'm just not sure which one right now. I almost want to lean towards Jewel just simply because Carolina is so bad and teams are going to be, running out the clock. And he could get a bunch of cheap tackles in the fourth quarter to boost it up a little bit. And White over the past couple of years has had, some injuries. He missed in the last year, has been in and out this year. So I'd probably lean Jewel.
Speaking of injuries, Josie Jewell.
Well, fair point. That's a fair point.
I still agree with that though. Go on.
Yeah, that was good stuff for Jewell. I think either one of these are going to be solid. I lean a little more towards White just because I do find his floor probably a little safer, and I expect him to not miss as many games as Jewell. I could see him turn around and get injured again. That's his thing. That's what he does.
It's a fair thing to point out. I'll go with Jewel here, dropping Wallace for Jewel, assuming you don't need to start Wallace this week, because I think you could if Jewel's out and you want to get that before letting him go for Jewel. But I pretty much echo everything that Ricky said on Jewel there, and everything Sean said about the other ones. So that works too. I play both sides, so I always come out on top. Joe Corvella, does he start DeForest Buckner this week?
Yes.
He's back, baby.
He's back.
He is back, and the Colts have missed him.
He dominates Houston. Like those are his best games. Man. Yeah,
he's so good.
Yeah. The top defensive tackle is back. You start him if you got him. Next question.
Yeah, well, the only thing I always wonder what the options are, but in general, yes, I definitely agree. Yeah, he's a number one DT, a top 12. Yeah, agree.
Yeah, that's terrific. I love that, Sean. Rochita asking, PPR picking 3. Zach Moss, Ladd McConkey, Zay Flowers, Bucky Irving, Jalen McMillan, Jake Ferguson, Hunter Henry, or Tyrone Tracy Jr. So I'm assuming we're just talking flex here. We're talking the 3 best options in this PPR. We don't know yet if Zay Flowers is playing, I believe.
That is
because
correct.
we had that ankle injury last week.
He's expected to play.
He's expected to play, and we know Zay Flowers will be peppered with targets in most circumstances.
But boy, he missed a lot of practice, though.
He did. And I'm going to assume this is not tight end premium, Rochita. And if it is, please let us know, because that obviously changes some things here. But for now, let's assume it's just PPR. What do you guys have a 3?
Jake Ferguson, number 1.
I agree with that. I'm looking Ferguson, McMillan, and I think I go Zay. If we have active Zay Flowers, because in PPR, it's still something I'm going to trust if he is out there. We saw him. I think it's going to be a pain thing of whether he's able to play through it. I just don't love these other options. I really don't. I'm hands off Moss this week.
Yeah, Moss is out.
And McConkey's been beat up.
The Chargers spread the ball around.
Irving, unfortunately, has that. I believe it's
banged up as well.
He's banged up as well.
He's going to play, but he's banged up as well. So
And depending
I
on
mean,
how the game's going, that they might not, they could choose to just go with the other two and not Irving. Um, if
yeah,
it
they've shown a
comes,
willingness to use Sean Tucker as a third down option.
I'm debating about Tyrone Tracy right now. Hmm.
I think
Singletary
I'm
being
out.
back.
I think I'm out on Flowers this week. Yeah, he got hurt early last week and did nothing after that. Of course, he was
Right.
in and out a lot, missing all the
Yeah.
practice. They really don't need him this week, I don't think. So it's Pound Henry, uh, involve the three tight ends they have. They really don't need him, I don't think. So I'm leaning
I'm going Ferguson and McMillan. You know what?
right.
Hunter Henry's not the worst thing in the world. May's been
That's where
throwing a
I'm
lot
going.
to May's been throwing a lot to the tight ends, to both Henry and Hooper. So I think I'd go Ferguson, Henry, and McMillan. Those are the three I'm leaning toward, just because of all the injury concerns and our playing time concerns with the rest of them.
Right there with you.
I don't think it's a wrong. I don't think that's wrong in any way at all. And I'll just take a little bit more of the risk on by going Flowers over Henry. I really am curious to see how Drake May fares this week against the Jets defense that has been inconsistent, but they do get Reddick back this week, and if and this is as much of a must-win game as it will ever be for the New York Jets, and Drake May has also been facing some really questionable defenses through his first two starts. I think this is going to be his first real test of going against, you had that Houston team defense that's been wildly disappointing, at least from what I was expecting. And then obviously saucing up last week too. So I'm going to trust Zay Flowers. We knew that he was going to play. He wasn't a game time decision. I'm going to trust that he's out there enough in a PPR to make it worth my while. But certainly understand pivoting off of him given the risk that is involved with that ankle. Axton is down to business. No
Oh,
more
hey,
making fun of me for.
real quick.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry to interrupt. I was just
No,
trying to
please.
do a first look at inactives, and Zay Flowers is not listed as inactive for the
Yep.
Ravens.
Yep, I got the tweet from Adam Schefter. Zay Flowers is active. Will Levis is officially also inactive. It will be Mason Rudolph under center once again. Okay, so back to business here, as Axton says as well. I need to pick two linebackers from the fall. We got Neville Hewitt, Trevor Wallace, Caden Ellis, Jamian Sherwood. They like Sherwood a lot in New York, man. It's they're starting to phase out Mosley a little bit, but
I
of
think
these
so.
four, who are you gonna pick? Let's assume Josie Jewell's out this week. I think is a fair assumption still. Because for me, I'll go Trevin Wallace, and then I got to decide that other one.
Sherwood's my top guy here.
Yeah, I'm
Sherwood's
I'm
probably my other one.
I'm leaning towards Sherwood because I think
So
they're
pick the
being
two.
saying, yeah, yes, blah, 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 blah. I think they're being nice because Mosley's this established veteran and so forth. They're saying all the nice things about, yeah, we eased him back in from injury, blah, blah, blah. But I just think that he's being phased out for Sherwood, and they're just being real nice about it. So I'm going Sherwood on that one. And then the other question is, oh boy, I do not trust Hewitt.
Hewitt's out. Hewitt's out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There
So
we
then
go.
it's Wallace or Ellis. And right now, Ellis has been a little bit, I'm going Wallace, even if Jewell plays and Wallace 75% of the snaps. I'm going Wallace over Ellis right now.
If Jewell's active, I think I try out Caden Ellis, although obviously I don't feel good about it either. But I agree that I don't think Jewell's taking the full role back this week. I don't think he's 100% at all. And I also don't think they rush him back. So I'm going Wallace and Sherwood. Sean, do you agree?
Yeah, I think so. I was torn between Ellis and Wallace as well. But with Denver, they're going to run the ball all game. So that gives Wallace more opportunities, I think.
All right, let's keep on going through these questions. We got so many coming in, which is
Yeah.
awesome to see. A lot of new faces as well. Good to see Fantasy Breakout as well. Okay, it's Brendan, Ken Vasquez, Dan, or I'm just going to go Daniel Bye here. Keep on asking these questions. We will get to them. We're going to go pick up the pace a little bit here on my end. Fantasy Breakout, jumping defensive backs. Do we go with Baker, Tyreek Stevenson, without Jaquan Brisker, DeMar Hamlin, or Kyle Duggar?
Taking one.
I I'm a little bit confused on the phrasing. Um, but
Yeah, I
you know
think he
what?
wants one of the four.
Okay, let's go with one of the five, right?
No, he's saying Brisker's out, with Brisker's being out, so it's
Oh,
Baker, Tariq Stevenson,
okay,
Hamler, Duggar.
gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay, yep, I'm slow on that one. So I'm gonna go Hamlin is would be my top option here. He's
I'm with
been
you.
fantastic this year. Plus, it's a great
Good.
matchup.
Oh, nay. I'm
He's
going with
going
Oh
Baker.
Baker.
god,
He's going Baker. Yeah.
Oh,
That was
nay.
the other one. That was the other one I
I
was
don't
thinking
mind
as well.
Buda Baker. He's
Yeah.
rocking my dynasty play. I understand.
Duggar went on the injury report as questionable yesterday, so you got to stay away with him from when these last week late in the week injury kind of things. So I'm staying away from Duggar. It'll be interesting if he's even active. But I'm doing Baker over Hamlin. Sorry, guys.
All right, we'll
I
make
get
it
it.
difficult for fantasy breakout out here. I think both options are good. It's Brendan asking for his last flex spot: Jalen Warren, Keon Coleman, Cedric Tillman, or Sterling Shepard. I'll be the one. I'll be the one to say, hey, easy decision. Cedric Tillman, rock him out there. Man is a beast. Man,
Woo!
Jalen Hyatt is a joke of a receiver, and Cedric Tillman was always the best option out of that Tennessee team.
Tennessee, yep.
Yep, it was. God,
And with
I've been a
Winston throwing the ball and with them being behind, I'm right there with you.
and
Absolutely.
based on Sean's arm pump, I felt good about that, about him
Yep.
agreeing on that one.
Yep.
We got some injury updates here. Josh Uche is out today, and I believe that's a healthy scratch. So we are going to be talking about Josh Uche trade rumors for the next week until the deadline comes up in early November, and the next, I believe, a week from today, possibly.
There are a lot of trade rumors already.
Yes, there are, and there are a lot of teams with a edge need. I'm looking at you, Detroit. Free Josh Uche, give him a chance. Bucky Irving, Zay Flowers, as we said, Tyreek
Overrated.
Hill, all active. Inactives include Travis Etienne,
I'm
T.
with you.
Higgins, Mike Evans, Al Lazard. Let's go over to Ken Vasquez here. Tyrell Dodson or Foy if Foy plays. That's hilarious, Ken. I gotta be honest. I brought this up as an example earlier, just off the top of my head. Did not see this question, Ken. Did not see this, but we did happen to answer it, and he did happen to see it. So good, awesome. That's really funny. That's terrific. I just thought that would be a question someone would need to answer it. I guess. All right. Daniel Valley asking, I traded Najee and Brian Robinson for Michael Pittman and Jonathan Taylor, and he's also 3 and 4. What do you guys think about that deal?
I like the Taylor get. Pittman's been kind of rendered useless uh, for half the season. So until that offense can really pick it up, it's still not terrible.
To me, it's almost lateral. Sorry, Dan. I hate to be the bummer, but it feels like a lateral almost. You got a better player and probably because of the quarterback, the worst player as well in the trade. So you traded like a 2 and a 3 for a 1 and a 4 sort of in terms of so doesn't do a whole lot for me, unfortunately, buddy.
Let's go over to Impossible here. He's got Jane Daniels. Should he grab, which Jane Daniels I believe is expected to play, but obviously dealing with that rib injury. Should he grab Bo Nix, Geno Smith, Russell Wilson? I wanted to say Zach Wilson for a second there. Jameis Winston, Drake May, Justin Herbert. The two options I think are the first ones here that we would be considered a pivot to of Bo Nix or Geno Smith. Geno Smith without DK Metcalf this week. Would you pivot off of Jane Daniels for any of these names, Ricky?
Well, the one thing for impossible is because the Washington game is in the late window, if I remember correctly. So he needs to have an option that is in the later window and or Sunday night or Monday. And I don't have the times in front of me. I don't know if you gentlemen do in front of you. I should have done that.
I'll pull them up right now.
I think Seattle is also a late game, as is
Bo Nix
the
is
Knicks.
playing at 4, or
Yeah.
is the afternoon slate. We got obviously the Steelers are playing on Monday night, so you can always pivot to Russ for that. Although I don't think any of us want to play Russ. And Gino is also the afternoon slate, so we should know. We should know for these top few options.
Yeah. So make sure you have a spot that you can drop if your lineup's locked at noon and you wanted to drop someone to potentially pick up one of those. I'm probably picking up one of those and stashing them. There is a chance of rain there's a high chance of rain in Seattle, and DK Metcalf is not playing, so that's just something to keep in mind. Um, I'm still probably rolling with Geno, and this is going to be a Noah Fant day, guys.
That's where I'm at.
Huh.
Yeah,
No
I think
fan.
Jaden's going to run a lot less. Look, if it's cartilage, that stuff's pretty damn painful. Rumor has it, um, and so if he does play, I just don't think he runs as much. So right now, I'd pick up Geno and stash him right now, and I'd probably put him in my lineup actually.
Is there any thought about Justin Herbert against the Saints?
Not really.
They're
Such a
they're
game.
they're going to run the ball 45 times for like 300 yards against my Saints.
Yep, I did trade for J.K. Dobbins. All right. Yeah. So I agree there that I probably pivot to Geno as well. I don't love it, but I mean, Bo Nix does have a great matchup too. But man, it's difficult to trust still. It really is. I'm still not. No. I'm gonna pivot. I'm gonna pivot here. I'm gonna go crazy and say I'll play Bo Nix over Jane Daniels this week. That's gonna be a clip that will haunt me forever. I'm sure. But
Oh
Carolina
boy.
Carolina saves my life half the time. So I'm going to bank on Carolina's defense being the worst in the league as it's been this entire season.
Timestamp at 42 minutes after the
Timestamp
hour.
it. Timestamp it. Let's go to Sports Spotlight here. Appreciate the question here, Sports. With T. Higgins, now we know he is out. Picking one of PPR, he also Lad McConkey, Calvin Ridley, Dontavian Wicks. He also has Ricky Pearsall, which he mentions in another comment. So Lad McConkey, Calvin Ridley, Dontavian Wicks, Ricky Pearsall. I'm going Dontavian Wicks. And I know he's the wide receiver 4 on this team in theory.
That's
But
how
this
bad
Jaguars
Ridley has
def-
been.
That's how bad Calvin Ridley's been. I know it's a great matchup. I have a little bit more faith with Mason Rudolph than Will Levis, but I'm still not trusting it. I think Wicks is gonna break one loose against this Jaguars defense that can't defend air.
Yeah, I'm doing Wicks as well.
That's crazy that we're going with wide receiver 4s over
Who
potentially the top target on the Chargers and the top target on the Titans. That's how bad it's been for those two passing offenses. Ugh. All right.
Quay
who's
Walker
who's
Quay Walker is inactive, by the way. Sorry about that.
all right?
Go ahead.
Eric Wilson, fire.
Eric Wilson, fire him
Oh
up.
god. Oh god. It's always the Packers, man. The Packers have never had a healthy linebacker one. It's always
Don't
Isaiah
need it.
McDuffie or Eric Wilson. It's every single year we talk about Eric Wilson and Isaiah McDuffie.
Ooh,
Is there any thought
both.
to Ricky Pearsall in this group?
I'm leaning Pearsall. I really am.
Lean Pearsall?
Yeah.
You're leaning
Why
in
not?
correctly. I see. Okay.
It happens
I'm not
sometimes.
going to judge. Yeah, especially in PPR with this bunch. I mean, if Dontavian Wicks does become the best player of this, it's not going to be on volume. It'll be on a 50-yard touchdown he catches and maybe a few others. He finishes
Right.
4 for 70 and 1 is kind of what I'm hoping for with Dontavian Wicks. These other guys have different outlooks. A little bit higher floor, I think. Definitely, I would say. So maybe if
That's
you have
relative.
any. Yeah, relative to Dontavian Wicks, obviously. Yeah. Let's go to Skywalker, related to Luke, I'm sure. He picked up DeAndre Hopkins and Rashad White, as soon as the comment pops up here. What is their upside for Hopkins in KC and Rashad White without many wide receivers left in Tampa? Should he drop any to pick up the injured duo of Jonathan Brooks or Isaiah Pacheco? Dave Canales came out in a press conference this week saying that it is possible that Brooks doesn't play this year at all, which I'm going to
Was
call.
always a possibility.
It is always a possibility. I still don't buy it because they activated his return date. So, I mean, they got 3 weeks to decide whether they want to do it or he's locked for the rest of the year, or 2 more weeks from now. But all that said, I am excited for Hopkins in KC. I have traded for him already with in one of my dynasty leagues. I have faith. I am running the course with DeAndre Hopkins, so I'm excited to see that. So I wouldn't drop him for either of these guys. Rashad White, I think these injuries are going to provide him with enough dump downs, as we've seen in past years, that it's going to save his value. So I wouldn't drop any of these guys for the running backs. I understand the question, though. Ricky?
With the wide receiver injuries in Tampa Bay, White becomes extremely valuable, I think, to your point on the dump downs and so forth. And because will the wide receivers get open? I know we've recommended McMillan a couple of times, but it's a flyer right now. So I'd keep both of these guys right now too.
Yeah.
All right. Impossible asking. Looking for one wide receiver, one flex. Zay Flowers, JSN, Michael Pittman, Christian Kirk, Ricky Pearsall, Chuba Hubbard, Chase Brown, Austin Eckler, Tyrone Tracy. I'll go with JSN definitely for my wide receiver, especially if it's a PPR league. Impossible. At running back, I guess Chuba, but I mean it's no. I'll go
That's
Eckler.
a tough
I'll go
defense.
Eckler.
Yeah.
I'll go Eckler. Catches a few dump downs for Jane Daniels, who's going to try to get that ball out quick. Is my thought process on that one. I don't want anything with the Bengals rushing attack in this week. I don't want to see the Tyrone Tracy against the Steelers. So that's where I lean.
Oh, nay.
Oh, boy,
Yeah, no, I'm on board with JSN, particularly DK out, but I'm actually going to go with Chase Brown out of these running backs. No confidence in Chuba with Bryce Young at quarterback at all. I would take the under on 111 yards for passing yards for Bryce. I think he's going to play that bad with no Deontay, no Adam Thielen. It's going to be so many 3 and outs. So I'd take the chance on Chase Brown right now out of in the flex spot.
I think I'm with Ricky on this. JSN for sure. We all agree he's the top guy here. Kirk is, when Evan Ingram came back, he's been eating up all the targets that Kirk usually gets. Plus, there's a lot of trade rumors swirling around, so they may look to limit his touches if they are trying to move him. So, yeah, I think Chase Brown gives you your best chance of scoring a touchdown.
Luca Magic asking, does he trade Keenan Allen for Tank Dell? I say no. And I would especially say no because I want to see Keenan Allen sauce up the Washington Commanders defense this week before even considering trading him because his value will be higher in 5 days than it will be today. That's my thought process. What do you guys think?
That's not bad.
When Nico comes back, I think Tank's value is down. Dynasty, I do it. Redraft it, nah.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, I agree with that. I'm assuming redraft on that question. If it's Dynasty, give me Tank Dell. Juan Pena Jr., good to see you, asking, should he be worried about Kittle's foot or should he pick up a pivot option of Cole Kmet, Hunter Henry, Zach Ertz, Fant, or Freiermuth off waivers just in case? We do this every week with George Kittle. He's never entered the game healthy in his life, and he always comes out on top, especially this year. He's as auto-start as any tight end gets. I'm trusting him. If you want to pick up a pivot just in case he misses, I guess you can go with Cole Kmet. Would probably be my top pivot, although I guess we got a Noah Fant call out here by Ricky in the top left. But I'm not worried, and I'll stick with Kittle.
Yeah, and if he is worried, he's got to have somebody that if Kittle's supposed to play, but it's the Sunday night game, so Freiermuth is the Monday night pivot. So if you're worried about Kittle, make sure you have a spot to drop somebody to pick up Freiermuth in case Kittle is out.
Yeah, which is still not going to be a very attractive play. Juan Pena also asking, do you say you disagree?
I don't disagree.
Oh, don't disagree. Okay, gotcha. Yeah. Juan Pena also asking, for wide receiver 2 and flex, DJ Moore. Okay, let's just lock in DJ Moore, yeah? Are we good? We good? DJ Moore?
Yeah, probably, yeah.
Okay. Well, DJ Moore, Alexander Madison, Wan'Dale Robinson, Rashad Bateman, Jacoby Myers, Travis Etienne, I believe, has been ruled out.
He's out.
Josh Downs, and Kenneth Walker. Kenneth Walker been on the injury report all week, but Kenneth Walker with a juicy matchup.
Yeah, it's Walker if he plays, right?
It's Walker and more for me.
Yeah,
especially if we're talking about rain in the Seattle game.
Yeah,
we're gonna let Kenneth Walker feast. Let's go over to picking a defense here. We're talking team defenses between the Ravens, Texans, Bears, Commanders, Giants, Dolphins, or Cardinals. Oh boy. I
love to go after defenses that have a chance for turnovers.
I know Ravens. Baltimore's where you're thinking.
Yeah, exactly. With Winston will throw for 2 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, and 320 yards.
Yeah.
So that,
4
that
sacks, 1 fumble. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. It'll be something along those lines. So I'd go with the Ravens because of that.
I'll agree also because I think it's the best unit of this group as well. So we get that combination of a decent matchup and a good talented team. Although they've certainly had their lapses in that secondary and
Sure. Yeah, they're
Cedric
pretty
Tillman.
banged up. They're banged up in
Yeah,
that secondary.
yeah.
Yeah, but
That's why I'm saying. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah,
yeah,
Michael.
yeah, like Ricky said, I think the turnovers and other stats are going to be there even if they allow points, which I
Yeah.
imagine is what you're going to follow up with. Ant Live asking, needing two in a heavy tackle format. Alante Taylor, my guy,
Automatic.
Trevon Morrig, Xavier Woods, or Kyle Hamilton. Tackle heavy. I mean, Alante Taylor for me is the pick.
Yeah.
He's just been a tackle machine from the slot. What do you guys think about for the second option? Unless Ricky disagrees from that Saints perspective.
No, the great thing about Taylor is Dennis Allen announced that Taylor would play on the outside in Adebo's absence, and then move into the slot when the other teams go 3 wide. So now he'll be playing 100% of the snaps, basically, where he wasn't even playing 100% in most games. So that even makes him more valuable. So Taylor and Hamilton for me.
Me too. We've been
Yeah,
pumping up Hamilton all day.
yeah. I'll make it a trio and make it unanimous. Reese Bird asking, full PPR picking 4. 2 have to be running backs. Let's go one at a time on this one since we're picking 4 in full PPR. Pick 2 running backs between James Cook, Montgomery,
Dalvin Cook.
Dalvin Cook. No, Jordan Mason. So picking 2 between. Actually, really, this is just sit 1, right? If I'm
Yeah, sit Dalvin.
sit Dalvin, right?
Yeah,
If
Sid
I'm
Dalvin.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, sit in one. Sit in one. We're gonna sit Dalvin. Start the rest of them, and start the rest of them with confidence. You got good options there. Reese Bird also asking, Caleb Williams. Oh, here we are. Caleb Williams or Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes.
Caleb.
Sorry, guys. I'm gonna be the guy. I'm gonna be the guy to say that this is the week that you can trust Mahomes again. It is the Raiders. He is part owners of the Raiders with Tom Brady. That he has not forgotten the Kermit. He has not forgotten the Kermit impression. He has not forgotten that he now is DeAndre Hopkins. Travis Kelce is still a player in the NFL, and I am going to go with Patrick Mahomes in this one. I understand pivoting to Caleb, but Caleb's been riding high against some terrible teams, and he can still do it this week. He's got the matchup to do it, but I'll go with Mahomes.
So I guess it's down to me. Yeah, both good matchups. Just for fun, I'm going to go against Ricky.
Yeah, there we go. There we go. There we go. That's the process that you get here. Andrew Abood asking,
Unbiased.
yes, Royo Dobbs, Jalen McMillan, or Cedric Tillman? Oh, I love this question. For my flex with Metcalf being doubtful, I would expect Metcalf to sit or to be out, so I would prepare to be without him. Good options here. We got the 3 top waiver options really of the last few weeks of Romeo Dobbs, Cedric Tillman, Jalen McMillan. All have good matchups. Some McMillan being the worst of the bunch in matchup wise. I'll go Dubs. I don't mind going with Tillman, especially if it's PPR, but I'll still go Dubs. That Jaguars defense is so trash, so trashy.
Yeah, I'm in the same order as you, Dobbs, Tillman, McMillan.
Yeah, but make it all 3 of us. I'm right there.
Look at us. Oh, happy little family here. Alonzo Jones asking Ernest Jones, the new Seattle
This is
Seahawk.
a question.
This is a question. He needs 2. So we got Trevin Wallace, which we think Jewel will be out, but if he is in, it's probably not the full workload anyway. Bobby Okereke, the one of the biggest disappointments of IDP picks so far, and Ernest Jones, who just arrived in Seattle a few days, or I guess about a week ago now. Which 2 are you taking? It's funny that I think Trevin Wallace is my locked-in start of this 3.
Okereke has been so unproductive.
can't you can't trust him.
I cannot trust him. I'm going with the other 2 guys.
I agree. I don't like it. And I
No, I
think
don't like it.
Pittsburgh's a good matchup for it in theory. You should get
Right.
tons of rushing volume right up the middle.
So it'll be McFadden.
Yeah.
That's
I
what's going
agree.
to happen. It's going to be McFadden eating it up. Yeah, I got to go with you guys. It feels so dirty because
The
Okereke
name,
was,
it's name
yeah, he
value.
was the LB3 this year.
Sensational last year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okereke is the equivalent of
Drax.
Patrick Mahomes in your bad decision and recommendation earlier.
Ooh.
Yeah. Huh.
Name
Sports
value.
Spotlight asking Anthony Richardson or Tua Tagovailoa. As we mentioned at the top of the show, Sean and I at least,
Easy.
we're going full fins up. He's the
Yeah.
fins fan. I'm not, but I'm still going fins up this week. Tua for me. Ricky?
Tua. Yeah, that's an easy one. Next.
Yep, we're
Since we're
rolling
running out of
back.
time.
Here we go. Jordan Green asking, does he start Dave Montgomery or T. Higgins in the flex? Higgins is out, so
Higgins
we
out.
go with Montgomery. Zeal asks, what's up, y'all? I agree. Good to see you. Nothing up, just questions. Happy to help. Good to see you in the chat, though. Appreciate you asking, Kyle Singer. Then we answered the Foy question. Andrew Bood. I think we answered that one as well. Ant Live. Tank Dell. George Pickens, Darnell Mooney. He needs two. I'm going Pickens and Mooney. We haven't. Dell hasn't done anything.
I'm
Like
with you. Yeah.
let's cool the brakes on Tank Dell. I mean, I didn't. Maybe it's because I was lower on him as a prospect, and I've been quietly waiting my turn to say to cool the Jets on
Unbiased.
Tank Dell because he. Oh, no, I didn't think he was a good prospect. He's got a lot of touchdowns last year. He looked great, but I'm still going George Pickens for sure. And Darnell Mooney, I think, is going to have a lot of opportunities. He's been quietly very good for the Falcons this year. Ricky?
Agree with Pickens. I think Tank Dell's going to eat against this Colts defense today. So,
And
I'm going
I did
Pickens
say
and
he
Dell.
wouldn't, so that means he is going off for 200. Sean, do you have a pick of the last one?
I think I'm leaning towards Michael here with Pickens and Mooney. We see what Mooney did last time he played Tampa Bay.
Yep. Doug Crosby asking wide receiver help, Rashad Bateman, JSN, or Hopkins. If I'm picking one, I'm going JSN, and it is with a heavy heart because it's been
With a
a
heavy
painful road. It's been a painful road with JSN, but I'll go JSN.
Oh, wow. I'm going Bateman on this one.
Bateman.
Yeah,
Great matchup.
so look, here's the assumption. I don't have confidence in Flowers, and I think he becomes a top wide receiver today. And he's had 3 really good productive weeks the last 3 weeks. I'm just not
Talented
trusting
receiver.
D Hops in week 1. And that goes back to our Mahomes versus Caleb, discussion just now. So I'm actually, ironically, going Bateman. I would have never said that earlier this year, but I'm saying it now.
Sean
Yeah,
split it up for us.
I'm torn. That was a pretty good argument there by Ricky.
No DK,
With
JSN in the slot. I
the fear
believe
of
it's a PPR.
a heavy rain day, is that what we
Yes.
think is going to happen? With the threat of the rain, I will lean Bateman.
All right. B. Lexi asking Jacoby Myers, first game back. Tyrone Tracy or Jalen Tolbert at the flex, full PPR. It's Jacoby for me. I don't care. It's a tough matchup. He will find a way to get 6 for 60, and it will be fine.
I don't
Agree?
hate that. Yeah, I'm with you.
I'm into.
All right. K095 asking James Conner or Kareem Hunt. That's a good question. We got good matchups in
Yes,
theory for
Kareem
both
Hunt
of them.
all day.
Yeah.
Really?
I-
You're going full fins up here, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going Kareem on this one too. I think I think this becomes a blowout, and we saw what happened last time. Connor was a little bit nicked up, and were getting blown out a couple weeks ago, and they left Connor on the bench the whole second half, basically. So I think that's going to happen again against the Dolphins. So if you believe that game script, I'm going to Hunt.
Yeah, the
I'm
Raiders'
gonna.
Steve Lott is banged up too. Like that's
I agree. I think Clyde Edwards-Helaire is going to have a larger role than people expect. I'm going James Conner on this one. Put it down. Fantasy Sports asking which 3 wide receivers should we start between Zay Flowers, DeAndre Hopkins, Jalen Waddle, Devonta Smith, Chris Olave. Star-studded names. 3 of them. I'm going Waddle, Smith, and then I have to pause and I'll go with Olave very reluctantly. Although I don't mind going with any with a different name for that third spot.
Wow, boy, watching Rattler, I don't know how much I trust him to do for Olave, unfortunately. It'll be better than Bryce Young, but it won't be much more. He'll throw for 155 yards with 60 of it going to the tight ends and 30 going to Kamara. I just don't think there's much upside for Olave. I would, if, oh boy, it's down to Flowers or Hopkins as the third one for me.
It's
Well, you've been so
Hopkins.
anti-Flowers. Yeah.
Hopkins
Yeah,
with his 2 touchdowns today.
Wouldn't rule it out. Would be fine with going with him as the third option here as well. Uh,
because of the ankle, I'm going Hopkins as the third one also.
Yeah, I think you have to.
all right, we have hit the hour mark, but we're still going to be here to help. We're just going to do it as rapid fire as we can to try to give you guys the advice because we are here. It says up there answering every question. That's what we're here to do. Low-key asking Njoku or McBride. He's starting Njoku. Should he flex McBride or Olave in just straight up PPR? I'll flex McBride and play Njoku.
I'm in.
Yeah, I'm with you.
All right, never feels good to start multiple tight ends, but we're giving you the A-OK. Mendy Mandelbaum, good to see you here. Hey, he's got a full PPR league. Was wondering who to start in his flex. Nick Chubb, Dave Montgomery, Brian Thomas, or Debo. Assuming we're picking one, I will go with Debo Brian Thomas.
Brian Thomas would be the correct answer.
Yeah, the PPR is the only reason I'm considering Debo. But I'll still go with Brian Thomas.
Even if he plays, I'm sorry, I can't buy that you're in the hospital with pneumonia and you're going to play a full complement of snaps and be as effective and so forth. I'm having to play Debo in the league, but with that, I got to go with BTJ on this one.
Sean?
I've been a huge Thomas fan all year. He's my guy.
All right, let's go to NK here. Devonta Smith, BTJ, or Tank Bigsby with ETN out? Good question. This is
Why
a
are
tough
these
one.
flexes and not starters?
Oh man, because I love all three of these options this week.
Smith worries me the most.
I'm
So
not.
he's out.
I still am promising with him, but I agree that the other two are just great. So I'm going BTJ. If I could see Dearness Johnson stealing the touchdown just to be annoying. If
And
there
if
is even
Green Bay
is a touchdown.
and if Green Bay gets out to a big lead, then it takes out Bigsby out and does put Dearness Johnson in. And so I'd rather be trying to
Right.
get the points with BTJ. Yep.
Yep. All right, so we all agree there. Big Mac Brad. Good name. I like that. Start two, one running back, one flex. Kareem Hunt against the Raiders. JT against Houston. Waddle against Arizona. Brian Thomas against Green Bay. Let's fire up Waddle and JT for me.
Oh, one running back, one flex. Okay, missed that.
Yeah, I did too. I was like, yeah.
I got to go with the stud of JT, and then I'm going Waddle as well.
Unanimous, Sean?
No, I'm taking Hunt over JT.
That's what a sentence. What a sentence that we are at in week 8 here. Kareem Hunt not on a roster a month and a half ago. And maybe a month ago, and all of a sudden, that's wow! It's a justifiable take against the Raiders.
Both the Texans starting linebackers are out, by the way, today. Both Aziz and
That
Toto.
defensive line is a lot better in Houston than it is in Vegas. So that's my deciding factor.
Jonathan Taylor is a lot better than Kareem Hunt.
I just don't see.
Right? We'll see. We'll see.
I don't see Indy running as many snaps.
Yes,
as the other teams,
and
they'll be behind.
Kareem Hunt could easily fall into the end zone twice against this Raiders team.
Right.
Isaac Lachance asking tight end premium Laporta with the bonus or D Hop PPR. I'll go Laporta in the premium, and I like D Hop this week as well. But I'll go with Laporta.
This is wild. I'm considering D Hop here.
It's only a half point premium, so
yeah,
it's
I'm
over.
gonna go. Want to go with Nuke here. I'm taking wide receiver on this one.
I'm going to agree with Sean also, so it's going to rain in Seattle for sure. I agree with Sean.
There you go. The Joker asking Sterling Shepard or Wandale Robinson. Wandale for me. Full PPR.
Yeah,
Oh
Our
yeah, you
Wandale.
current target leader in the NFL, who
Right.
is somehow like 40th in yards though.
Yeah.
M
100
Dev
catches,
asking.
90 yards.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. M Dev asking Kirk Cousins or Tua this week and going forward. Kirk Cousins has. I've been looking at it. Kirk Cousins has a terrific playoff schedule, so I am kind of trying to stash him for my winning teams right now. This week, I'm still going Tua. Oh,
I'm going Cousins because I'm afraid of Tua ending up in this position at some point again.
So
Unfortunately, so
that
I'm going
oh,
Cousins.
I also have that fear. So I do like Tua this week for sure, but I'm definitely holding on to Cousins.
Yep.
yeah. Very soft second half of the season, as well as just overall with the schedule that Atlanta has. Which three linebackers should he start? Foy, Zaire Franklin, Kazir White, Tyrell Dodson, Trevin Wallace. Tackles are 5 points, if I'm looking at that correctly. Assists being 3, sacks are
Nice.
10. Yeah, we were talking juiced IDP
Yeah.
scoring
Now
here.
that's a
Uh,
scoring system, Harry. I
Yeah.
like
yeah,
that.
forced fumbles 7, 5 for pass defense. Man. So I that's
Zaire's in for
starting.
me.
Yeah, starting
Yes.
three means sitting. Yeah, sorry. Go on, Ricky.
Yeah. So Zaire was the first obvious one for me. Oh boy,
I'm
I think it's Zaire, Wallace, and that third one is difficult. And I think I go Foy. I don't want to. I understand the concerns, and we had Foy versus Tyrell Dodson debates earlier on the show. I think I'm going Foy as the third option here. I understand going Kazir White for the floor with a heavy tackle format like this, but what do you guys think?
I think with this kind of scoring system, Olu will kind of play enough to justify playing him for sure as well.
He's still the best player in that room by a good margin.
Yeah. And I think Jacksonville's going to be under so much pressure. They're not going to want to explain. The more I think about it, that we only played Aluakon for like 80% of the snaps. Your best player who you just paid in the last offseason.
Sean?
so Aluakon, Franklin. I think I'm taking White. That's my third
White?
guy. Yeah.
It's. I mean, he hasn't had the extra stats, but the tackles have been steady. And then, you get 8 points or you get 5 points for a solo, 3 for an assist. He gets 7 tackles and nothing else. You might still be very happy with that. And none of these guys we really love to get sacks necessarily. So, especially between the ones that we're deciding for that last spot. So, MDev asking sitting one between in a PPR, assuming it's Amari Cooper, Devonta Smith, David Montgomery, I would
Yeah,
assume.
that's probably Montgomery. Yeah.
Yeah, so sitting one of those three in a PPR, they're all great options. And so great that I don't have an immediate opinion. But
Sit Monty.
I think I sit Monty was where I
Yeah.
was getting. Yeah,
That's what I'm doing here.
which I like Montgomery a lot, but you got great options here.
Yeah, I mean, Devonta had a rough game last week and all, and I think he's going to get greased this week. So I'm going to go with Cooper and Devonta as well. I'm sitting Monty.
Here's a fantastic comment that I wish I saw earlier. JJ saying that he's like to trade Jameson for Sean between the two shows that we had. Sean, we would like to, with all due respect to Jameson, who
Yeah.
we love quite very much, we're not giving up Sean here. We got good things going.
You got to throw a lot more into the deal for that,
Yeah.
JJ.
Sweeten the
yeah,
pot
like give me
here.
some coffee. Give me some coffee, and then give me a nice bag of coffee. So, Froggy Man asking Jalen Waddle, Jalen Reed, George Pickens. Don't know how many we're picking here, but let's just order them real quick. I would go Waddle. Yeah, I'll
I
go.
like.
I'll go Waddle, Reed, Pickens in this order. I think.
I would too.
Waddle, Pickens, Reed from me. But Waddle, if he needs one, Waddle is unanimous for us.
Yep. Metro asking starting Chuba, Pollard, JSN, half PPR. Man, I'll go Pollard. It's just volume. I don't love it, but volume. No Tyjae Spears.
Oh,
Half
boy.
PPR, so it's not enough for me to start JSM.
Right.
That's the one differentiator of why I do Pollard, because I expect 19
Yeah.
carries for 63 yards.
And 3 catches for 20.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm with you.
Do you agree with that, Sean?
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. McCoy 79 Productions. Would you bench Chubb for Cade Otton or Sterling Shepard?
Yes.
No.
Yes.
Wow.
Okay,
For which
Dodman.
one then?
Cade Otton to the moon.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. I did like Cade Otton as a prospect. I do have to admit, I did
Just
like him.
the way they used him when Evans and Godwin were out.
Right.
The little screens. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'd still stick with Chubb personally, but I understand where you guys are coming from, especially if there's any scoring bonuses of PPR or anything like that. Nick Chubb's not going to really be catching the ball. And he could, like we've said on the show, he could easily get game scripted out. So if he's not feeling good on Nick Chubb, as he says here, you could always make that pivot. And I would agree I'd go Odin over Shepard. Higgins is, now we know he's out. Who does he replace him with? Tank Dell, Keenan Allen, D-Hop, Xavier Worthy, Christian Kirk. Keenan Allen against Washington is where I lean. I know it doesn't feel great, but that's where I go. Don't
I like
mind if you
that.
go D-Hop, but
The others are too big a wild card for me to trust right now. I like Allen here.
Yeah, it's D-Hop's close second. It'd be Allen and D-Hop for me.
Geesh asking, does he flex Dave Montgomery or Devontae Adams? Devontae Adams. Like I was saying before, it's a must-win game. No Kyle Duggar, as rookie said. Patriots suck. Devontae Adams.
Yeah, all day.
Yep.
All right. Another question of he has Swift, Dobbins, Neighbors. Same. Yeah, we're not subbing any of those guys out for. Would you sub Swift for Montgomery? I guess that's the only question. I'll probably stick with Swift.
I'm sticking with Swift against the
Still Washington.
Commanders. Yeah.
Yeah. It's still Washington they're heading against.
Yeah, I'll make that unanimous there.
Which Washington released Jermaine Davis this week, guys. You guys see that? End of an era. Of course.
No loss for any of my leagues.
He's got that. If we answer that one, yeah, we got it. We'll try to speed up these questions, NK. I apologize for this one. We're getting so many questions this week, which is awesome, and I gotta get used to picking up the pace. Bigsby or McBride this week? PPR flex.
I'm going McBride. I just think game script.
I'll go
in
McBride
both
as well.
cases.
I'm with you. I'll do that.
Poll 313 needs a flex. Chris Olave, Tillman, Tucker Kraft, Jalen Tolbert, Christian Kirk, Trey Tucker. I'm assuming. I'm gonna go Tillman personally. Don't mind if you go Kraft or Olave.
Tillman for me as well. If Carr was starting to be Olave, but not with Rattler. Sorry, I got to go Tillman on this one.
Yeah, Tillman Kraft is the other guy for me as well.
Let's go Dak or Geno at QB. Give me Dak. San Francisco defense has been disappointing and continues to be.
But Dak's been disappointing as well, too.
Yes, he has. Yes, he has. But Geno Smith, if we're talking about the rain, no DK Metcalf, I'm going to stick with Dak.
I'll go with Dak, but it's close. Ugh,
It is close.
Yes.
If the weather was normal, I'd go Geno. And yeah. Tua or Mahomes against the Raiders. Here, I'll go Tua.
Tua.
Yeah, again, think he's a top 5 play this week. Savvy Edits starting 2 of JSN, Flowers, Tank Bigsby. From me, I go with.
Flowers
I'll
is
go
out for me.
I'll go Flowers and JSN. Yeah, and I trust Flowers enough to play, but not. I like those other guys a little bit more.
Yeah, I just worry about the Flowers ankle, so it's Jason and Bigsby for me as a result.
Yeah, I'm there.
Dube6787 asking Tyler Lockett or Ricky Pearsall at the flex. Full PPR. You will go Lockett.
Lockett.
And yeah. He will get his due. Jane Daniels or Tua? We go Tua?
Tua.
With the ribs.
Toned Bear asking starting Kyler, Tua, or Bo Nix. Keep it going.
Tua.
Two it is.
Tua.
Yeah.
Here we go. We're
Kyler
going
does not
all in.
excite me. Yep.
Metro asking Tua or Richardson, Caleb or Bo Nix. I will go Tua over Richardson with confidence, and Caleb over Bo Nix with a little bit less confidence.
Yep. Agreed.
Yep.
All right, poll 313 and Tyler Nubin or Deshaun Elliott. What do you guys think?
I'm not excited about either one this week.
I'm
yeah.
not either, but I'll go Deshaun Elliott. They're playing each other Monday night.
I think he's been the most consistent.
He's been
Yeah,
terrific for Pittsburgh.
Elliott's getting more in the box too, so versus Newman, so I'd go Elliott as well.
Yeah, they're throwing Minka deep and letting Deshaun get a little bit closer to the line. Pig asking full PPR, picking one. Rashad White, Tony Pollard, Chase Brown, Ramondre Stevenson, and QB Geno Bake. So we'll start with the pick one of the full PPR. For me, that's going to be Rashad White, who I think will catch the most passes of this 4-man running back room. Do you guys agree?
Yeah. Even though it's a three-headed monster right now, I think he's the best upside of these guys.
I'm so hands off on Ramondre and Chase Brown personally. Tony Pollard's interesting, but with Bucky Irving banged up as well, I'll go White.
I'll go White as well.
And QB, Geno, Baker, or Bo Nix. Oh, man. Obviously, Baker missing his weapons, Geno missing DK, plus Rain. Bo Nix in the juicy matchup with Carolina. I'm going to go Bo Nix, and I'll be crazy with it.
Sorry, I'm going Geno.
And I'm going to take Baker just to really screw this thing up.
There we go. Sorry, Pig. Happy to help. Poll 313 asking Josh Hines Allen or Zach Allen. Zach Allen, who has been very productive or decently productive, and Josh Hines Allen, who has been wildly unproductive. So I'm going Zach Allen. I'm done with Josh Hines Allen. He's been just so up and down.
Yeah, Zach Allen is an easy one for me on this one. It's not even close
sure.
for me.
Yeah.
James Coffey in a PPR league looking for suggestions for quarterback with passing yard upside this week. He's got the big bonuses for more than 300 plus yards. Man. Well, then we're not talking about the rookies. Is there any guys that stand out to you as potential options for this? I mean, I think Tua is obviously someone who I think we expect to hit the 300 mark. I think Kyler could, but it's not throwing downfield enough.
Hey, James, sorry, man. You've got to, in the future, you got to give us a few options of what you might be looking at or picking from to help us out here. Otherwise, it's really a big guess. So, especially with the interest of time, we need to move on. Yeah.
Yeah. It's Beats 101. Rashad Bateman or Devonta Smith? I'm going Devonta Smith, full PPR.
Bateman.
I'm taking
Bateman
Smith.
at full PPR. Okay, well, Ricky's sticking on his guns, and I appreciate it. Pachuco TTV asking, good to see him, man. Always good to see a new name. Starting 2 running backs, 2 wide receivers, 1 flex, and tight end. Oh, boy. I'm trying to quickly do the math here of... Okay, honestly, Pachuca, I'm going to have to echo Ricky on this one. I appreciate the question, and if it was earlier in the show, we would have been able to get to it like this, but try to break it down to us a little bit, because with all these names and all these lineups, it's just it's going to take a little bit too long, and it's unfair. We got to be able to help everyone on this one. If you try to break it down to us on the start sits, it'll go a little bit quicker. Scano 6839, PPR Khalil Shakir, Rico Dowdle, or Cedric Tillman. Good question. Shakir or Tillman, basically, I imagine. And he's going T for Tillman, I'm guessing.
Correct.
Yeah, Sean?
Man, I really like Shakir. But with the scare of the rain, I'm going Tillman.
I'll go Tillman as well. I have no issues with going Shakir either. I like Shakir quite a lot. Starting 2 of Scary Terry with the injured Jane Daniels. Take Dell, JSN, Marvin Harrison Jr. Marvin Harrison Jr. for me is the lock, and I'll probably just trust Terry, although I obviously am worried about Jane Daniels' ability to throw deep with a rib injury.
Not trusting McLaurin with Mariota quarterback, no matter how well Mariota did last week.
Jaden's playing, right?
It's not 100%.
Okay.
Well,
okay.
I'd probably go MHJ and JSN on this one.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think Harrison has a good day. This Dolphins defense has been pretty tough for wide receivers.
If I had more confidence in the other names, I'd be willing to pivot.
Sure. I'm gonna go Terry. Scary Terry. And JSN.
All right. Givy Lull asking Chase Brown or Tank Bigsby with ETN out. Give me Bigsby. I don't love either option this week, but I'll go Bigsby.
Yeah, I agree.
Ricky's got some pain in his face.
Yeah, I'm going Chase Brown on this one, guys. Sorry.
Because of the catches.
2-1 Jivy or Givy.
All right, another Chase Brown question. Najee or Chase Brown? I'll go Najee.
Najee.
Don't love the Giants matchup, but volume, situation,
Yeah.
game script.
Najee.
Jimmy Yusufi asking, I hope I pronounced that correctly. Zay Flowers, Darnell Mooney, Rashad White. Full PPR is the flex, so you can pick whichever. I'll go White. Again, I think he'll have as many catches as these other guys. Plus, you got the rushing volume to come along with it. I don't love it. I don't feel great about any of these three names, but it's Rashad White for me.
I'm with you.
White, yep, agree.
Footy University official. He's got an ugly one, which I love ugly questions. Sterling Shepard, Jake Ferguson, Josh Downs, Raheem Mostert, or obviously ETN's out. So for his flex, so we got to pick one of. I'm going to throw Shepard out. Ferguson, Downs, Mostert. And I actually like Mostert this week, but it's Ferguson for me with mid levels of confidence.
Ferguson's the easy one here for me.
Yeah, it's just tough with Fred Warner, but still.
Yeah, we can go with Ferguson. Mostert second for me.
NBA Live 2K9, Josh Jacobs or James Conner? Josh Jacobs.
Jacobs. Yep.
Yep. Akuna Matata 69 asking, need a flex? Laporta, Raheem Mostert, or Rashad White?
White. I'm going White here.
Without premium scoring, I'll go with Rashad White. But Laporta is actually my second option here, and I don't mind Mostert either.
Yeah, White for me as well.
Dylan Finnick starting 2 flex between Bateman, Odunze, Shakir, Olave.
This is too much, man, unfortunately.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just a little bit too much, Dylan. And if you got, again, we're here earlier, so we can try to get to these questions if it was earlier in the show. Noah 305, should he flex Chris Olave, Lad McConkey, Xavier Worthy to replace Higgins? Tough question. I will go with Olave based on talent and target share of a very small pie.
Don't love any of them, but I got to go with Olave out of these, over Higgins. I mean, with Higgins out.
I'll take the shot on Worthy just to get
Fair enough.
a big one.
You got the big play.
Yeah.
Bowers or Kittle? Tight end 1 or tight end 2? That's
Start 'em
damn
both.
good for you to have this option. But if we have to pick one or the other, I will go with George Kittle.
I'll take Kittle this week.
Yeah, the Chiefs defense is pretty good, even though it's not too good against safeties. But the Raiders are so bad, you got to go with Kittle, I think.
Yeah.
I refuse to believe you actually have both these options, Jordan, but I'm jealous of you. Metro, JSN, or George Pickens in half PPR. George Pickens for me.
Pickens.
Yep.
Pig asking, picking one of Pickens, Shakir, Debo if he plays. I will do it in this order, in full PPR. I'll take Debo over Shakir. I'll go Pickens, Debo, Shakir, and I like Shakir.
That is the right answer, Michael.
Oh, let's go.
You don't even need us. Hit it, Michael.
Yeah, no, it's great that Ricky's got the answer key.
Yeah. It's so much easier when you know the answers, right?
Yeah, it is. Bucky Irving or Rashad White. If we're picking one of the Tampa Buccaneers, I will go with Rashad White.
Yeah.
Bucky Irving seemed very likely to miss at times this week, plus in general. Why did it just go back to that? Aubrey or Dicker the kicker? Cameron Dicker. Aubrey, I'll take jury duty Aubrey. Everyone agree?
Yeah.
Yeah, if he's available, you start him.
Yeah, you got to go Aubrey.
Yep. Brandon Gregory, Bucky Irving, Wandell Robinson, Khalil Shakir, Romeo Dobbs at the flex, PPR. Assume we're picking one. I'm going to go with Wandale in PPR. I mean, I'm fine with it, honestly. I don't mind if you go with Shakir or Dubs, but PPR, I think he's going to catch 8 balls for 50 yards, and that might be the best performance of these guys.
I think Dobbs gets you a touchdown this week.
Yeah, I'm going Dobbs as well.
Yeah.
Robinson second.
Fair enough. Mr. Light Jr., Chris Olave, Zay Flowers, or Tank Dell today.
Jeez.
It's funny. We got so many variations of these three
Yeah.
names.
Yeah, exactly. I was
gonna,
thinking the same thing.
and it's a different person, so I know it's not the same question. But
Yeah, I'm going Tank on this one. Once again, if New Flowers with healthy is a no-brainer, but I'm going Tank over Olave.
I'll take it in this order.
I'll take Olave.
All right. Numa, related to Chad. Who do I flex? Olave, Raheem Mostert, Cedric Tillman, assuming Mark Andrews. Picking one, we're going to go with here. I will go with Tillman.
Tillman.
It's close with Andrews, but I'll
is.
go with Tillman as well.
Caden Casemiro asking D-Hop, Amari, J.K. I assume that's J.K. Dobbins, or Garrett Wilson in PPR. Assuming we're just going to pick one here. I'm not benching J.K. Dobbins against the Saints this week. I refuse. I don't care. It's PPR. I'm playing J.K. Dobbins.
Some nice choices there. Dobbins first against the Saints, who just look horrendous. My Saints, and Wilson is second for me on this list.
I agree with that.
I'm actually going to take Wilson.
Fair enough.
Over Dobbins on this, yeah.
Fantasy Sports asking, long term, which would you rather have of Dodson, Tieran Wallace, or Kazir White?
Dodson.
I think we've had variations of this, but I'll go with Dodson, White, Wallace.
Yeah.
Ricky?
Wallace, Dodson, White. Wallace is the youngest. Dodson's just a guy who is in a good spot, and he's a free agent, similar with White. So I'd take a chance on Wallace.
Yeah, I guess I was thinking rest of season. I agree with you 100% if we're talking Dynasty and looking legitimately long term, which is probably what he meant there. Brendan Miller asking DeAndre Swift or Josh Jacobs.
Jacobs, yeah.
Jacobs.
And then rookie quarterbacks playing each other. Jane Daniels or Caleb Williams. I'll go Caleb Williams.
Caleb Williams in this one as well for me. And that's without my LSU bias too. So.
Yeah, I think you have to with Daniels being banged up this week.
The difference.
Pachuco, I appreciate you breaking it down for us here. Tank Dell, Brian Robinson, Tank Bigsby, or Ridley as a flex. We'll go Brian Robinson.
Yeah.
Yep. Agreed.
Okay. Eric Anders, 12-team half PPR, starting 2, Waddle, DJ Moore, Nick Chubb, Jalen McMillan. I will go with Waddle and Moore.
Yeah.
The first two.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Marvin Harrison Jr. or Darnell Mooney. What a question. PPR.
That's a good question.
I'm still sticking with Marvin Harrison. I know the Dolphins have been a tougher matchup, but I'm still sticking with it. PPR as well.
Taking Mooney.
I'm going Mooney.
Yeah.
I hope I don't have take lock, man.
Yeah, Marvin Harrison is like the Mahomes. It's a name right now. He hasn't done much.
Noah Gurvich asking Mooney or Bigsby in the flex. I'll go Mooney here. Based on our talk, I think we'd agree, right?
Mooney,
Yeah.
yep.
Yep, Mooney. Ertz or Andrews at tight end. Crazy that this is a question, but and I understand the question for the record. I'll go Andrews.
Yeah. Andrews, yeah.
Yeah. Eric Anders, Tua, Goff, Cousins. Tua,
Cousins, Goff in that order.
I can roll with that. Yep.
Dubs, Dell, PPR for his wide receiver 2 spot. I'll go
Dobbs. Yeah.
Yep.
Dobbs.
Dobbs.
I pronounce his last name differently every time I say it. Pachuco asking Kate Anna or Kyle Pitts. Oh man. I'll go Pitts.
This one's close. This is close
I
for
want to
me.
see this Tampa offense play without their top two at weapons before I really go in on any of them. And I feel decent about Pitts getting production in this matchup.
I'm gonna take
I'm going.
Otten.
I'm going Otten as well.
All
Yeah.
right. Maybe I am take a lock. We'll see. I'm going with ADP. Purdy, Kyler, also Chiefs defense or Ravens defense. Purdy for me. Dallas
Yeah.
defense looks terrible. And I will go with the Chiefs defense. With the
Yeah,
Raiders.
Chiefs against the Raiders and Purdy. Yes, that's my
Yeah.
two.
All right. Nick Flynn, Trey Palmer, Josh Downs, Raheem Mostert. Pick one in the flex. I will go with Mostert.
Mostert.
Interestingly.
Yeah, I think I'm with you guys. Palmer was the other
Dolphins
guy I
game.
was considering, but again, we haven't seen anything there yet.
Yeah. Nick Giannopoulos. I might have mispronounced. I definitely mispronounced that, but apologies. Should I go Jalen Tolbert, Dontavian Wicks, Christian Watson, or Christian Kirk? I will go Christian Watson, and I understand why others won't, but I will go Christian Watson.
I'll take Kirk this time.
Oof. Well, we're going to split it three ways. Believe it or not, I'm going with Tolbert on this one.
I don't blame you. This is
I don't either. I don't blame any of you guys for those. Mark Andrews or Jake Ferguson have PPR. Oh man,
Ferguson. It's Ferguson for me.
it is tough that San Fran matchup still with tight ends. I think I go Andrews. Mandrews.
Mandrews. Yeah.
Is he back?
I'm going to go Andrews as well, but it's close.
Especially if we're worried about Zay Flowers, that only helps Andrews' ability.
That was what I was thinking actually. Yes.
Yeah. I can read minds, Ricky. I got you. Need one tight end and a flex. Hunter Henry, Jake Ferguson. So basically picking between Hunter Henry, Jake Ferguson. I will go Ferguson.
Yeah.
I'm going Henry.
All right. And a flex of Warren or Wandale, or you can pick the other tight end. I'll go Wandale, assuming at least half PPR.
Same with me.
If it's standard, I will pivot to, I guess, Warren, maybe. Rochita, PPR, Jake Ferguson, Kyle Pitts, Hunter Henry. I will go Pitts.
I like the order he's got him in. Yeah, I still like Ferguson.
Yeah, you're on the Ferguson train for sure. I think I'll go Ferguson as well on this one, but I think they'll all score about the same, about 8 points, 9 points.
Bucky or Zach Moss. Don't love either this week. I'll go Zach Moss. He's among the league leaders in red zone carries, despite not having much else. But I don't love either of these guys.
Don't love it either, but I'll go with the healthier guy too, Zach Moss.
Yeah, 2 injuries are weird, so I think you have to go.
Mahomes or Dak? Dak against San Fran. Mahomes against the Raiders. I go Mahomes.
Yeah, I'm with it.
I'm going Dak. I'm a Mahomes hater right now. Sorry.
We know.
Russ or Geno? Give me Geno. The brain doesn't wear me enough to play Russell Wilson.
You're the Steelers, man. You would know best. I'm going to follow your lead. We go with Geno. Oh, it looks like Sean might have froze.
I'm going to go. I'm going to go Wilson here.
All right. Justin Lolong, Kamara against the Chargers or Tank without ETN. I know Kamara's got the broken hand or whatever the hell's going on over there, but give me Alvin Kamara and the 20,000 touches he'll still see.
Yeah, assuming PPR, I'm going Kamara. It won't be pretty, but I'm not. I'm playing Kamara with Tank. Yeah.
All right. Ivan Meltar starting 2, sit 4. So starting 2 of Amari Cooper, Cole Kmet, Zay Flowers, Christian Watson, Demario Douglas, Jacoby Myers. I'm starting Amari Cooper and Jacoby Myers.
I'll go with that. Kmet was the other guy I was thinking with Myers, but Cooper for sure.
Cooper and Myers.
All right. Berkey, Chase Brown, or Wandale Robinson, full PPR. Give me Wandale.
Wandale.
All right, and that wraps up the show that we have gone well over this week, and that's because of all these amazing questions. So I do want to thank everybody. I know we had to speed through a bunch, and I'll try to pick up the pace for our next time around next week for the Week 9 Start Sit Show. So thank you all for tuning in, and like Ricky always wants us to, always mentions, be sure to subscribe to IDP Plus. You know, this show is awesome, but we are limited to a certain amount of time, and we have Discord channels where we answer questions like this nonstop all the time, and we're able to help out with our listeners. And we have the tools to provide you guys the ability to make these choices on your own, as well as to justify the reasons why we're giving you these answers as well. So all of the content, everything like that, be sure to check out and subscribe for IDP Plus. And it's a great community, if anything else. Plus, the show before us and our betting channels, you make the money back instantly. It helps when you got someone as good as Axton Harding giving you some tips like that. Occasionally, I'll throw something out there. Sean always has something up his sleeve, I'm sure. And Ricky's called an interception for Kyle Hamilton, so we'll keep an eye out for that one too. So, either way, I want to thank you guys for joining me on this one for a bit of a longer run. But you can follow Ricky here at RickyRod66. You follow Sean at Sean83860. You follow myself at Michael__ Scully. And of course, follow IDP Plus at IDP Plus. Hit that bell on YouTube, subscribe. All those things really help, even if it's a little thing to you guys. It means the world to us, especially when we have as many viewers and as many questions as we had today, which is awesome. It seems to grow every week, which is really, really something special from our end. So thank you all for watching. Appreciate all you guys for the questions. Best of luck with your Week 8 matchups, and we'll see you next week in